Well, welcome banking and finance friends, alumni, faculty, staff, bankers, people all over the world. We are glad to introduce you to our 24th Banking Symposium. We've had excellent banking symposiums in the past, and this will be no different. We have an incredible lineup, and Stan will go over that in just a moment. But over the years, we were talking earlier, when I first came to Ole Miss, which would have been in 2004, we had about 20 people or 30 maybe in Johnson Commons, the old Johnson Commons, not the new Johnson Commons ballroom. And now we've grown to over 300 attendees. It's been really one of the most amazing one-day events in the South, I think, for banking and financial topics. So it's been an incredible ride, and I thank all of you and our sponsors, our alumni and friends who've supported this. It's just been incredible. And the reason for having this symposium is multifaceted, but two of the big ones are, first, so we can provide educational content to industry professionals. There are always things that we talk about that are very topical, things that are going on currently, things that you need to think about while you're running your business, whatever that might be. And the second thing is to provide interaction between industry professionals, our students, and other stakeholders so that we can continue to create wonderful banking knowledge here at the University of Mississippi. Our goal is to create successful graduates who can go out and impact the industry, and this is a big piece of that. So thank you to all of our constituents who've helped along the way. And we're going to talk about what we've got going on this year, and I've got SJViner with us, who's our Banking and Finance Board President, and right now currently our Business Advisory Board President too, and a former Jack Henry employee for many, many years. So Stan, welcome, and let's talk a little bit about the lineup.
Well, thank you, Dr. Cyree. Appreciate that. This is third in the series of podcasts that we promised last year at the symposium, that we do one about every 90 days. The first one was Sean O'Neill from Chartwell. Sean talked about succession planning. If you haven't listened to that, that is very timely, and that doesn't seem to have any dates on it. It's always a smart time to listen. Also, we have Charles White from Stifel talking about various financial pressures. And also, if you wanted to get a great background on the history of banking in the U.S., excellent background for that. So if you're a student or someone wishing to refresh your memory on those topics, fantastic. Again, that was Charles White with Stifel. And this is our third podcast. You may have just listened to one with Dr. Cyree and Dr. Henderson, the chair of economics here at Ole Miss, speaking about the current economic situation in various places. Also know that the Banking Symposium, if you haven't received a link, I hope you have. It's on the Ole Miss web, as well as likely in your inbox several times. I do want to mention to you our registration is now over 200, and last year we sold out. So be sure and hit that tab and get registered. We'd love to have you. We'll talk a little bit more about that program. Just as a little walk down memory lane, some of the past speakers have been Warren Stevens, who did an excellent job, as well as Lord Ashcroft, as far as I know, the only British lord that we've had speak. And last year, outstanding comments and presentation in a fireside with Michelle Bowman, who obviously is quite often in the news in the financial world today. Wanted to mention to you, November 14th being a Friday, the next day will be Ole Miss versus Florida, so if you do track that type of thing, be sure and extend your stay. The morning starts off with a no-charge Women in Finance breakfast, and this is a Women in Finance piece, but we invite all to attend. Matter of fact, the audience is typically about a 50-50 mix between men and women who really want to hear stories of women in the financial world. This year's guest, from a motivational standpoint, will be our current golf coach, who's had quite a run, I might add, including the national champion. And you might want to just talk a little bit about the national champion individual winner.
Michael Lasasso was the NCAA champion, the individual champion, and Coach Malloy has really done a great job with our golf team. Anybody that knows me know that I like golf just a little bit, so I tend to follow that pretty closely. And Coach Malloy has done a great job and is an excellent motivator, a really good person for our program. He brings a lot of passion, a lot of expertise, a lot of knowledge, a lot of character, and he'll talk about those things at breakfast and talk about being a leader and talk about facing adversity, which if you're a golfer, you do about every other shot, it seems like, unless I guess you're maybe the NCAA champion. Maybe he didn't, but most of us, it's a great metaphor for life, and Coach Malloy, I think, will deliver great content there.
And a good metaphor for banking today.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very familiar. I believe that he has now had 2 national champions.
That's right. Braden Thornberry was
Yeah.
another who's on the PGA Tour right now, and in fact, he's had several, and Kai Meeks, too, just made the cut at the Sanderson Farms tournament. So he's had a lot of his former players and even current players do very, very well. So it's he's just a great leader and does an excellent job for the Ole Miss Rebel golf team.
So he will kick us off that morning at 8:15 from a motivational speaker perspective. Then we get into the banking content. Kathy Kraninger, the CEO of the Florida Bankers Association, will be the keynote in the Women in Finance area. We were real pleased to learn that Kathy is a Florida State Seminole fan. We'll be cheering for the Ole Miss Rebels the next day at the Ole Miss versus Florida game. So that be great to have Kathy with us. And at 10 o'clock is when our keynote starts. So those of you that would like to just attend the symposium, that would start at 10. We will have 3 different segments. Firesides include Brian Garner from Stifel, the Chief Policy Strategist in Washington, D.C., will be interviewed by Charles White, the Managing Director at Stifel. And again, Stifel is our title sponsor again this year, I believe, for the 6th or 7th year in a row. So again, thank you very much to Stifel for being the title sponsor. Also would mention that there is another fireside with Rodney Hood as the past OCC comptroller, currently on the FDIC board, currently on the Federal Home Loan Board as well, and many other activities in the banking environment. He will be interviewed by Jill Castilla, who Jill has appeared often on the top 25 women in banking list. I think you'll really enjoy both of those firesides. Our keynote will be delivered by Rebecca Rainey, who is the CEO of the ICBA. Rebecca was with us about 5 years ago and always brings a great perspective on the banking industry, both local and in the D.C. environments. Then we'll be switching over that afternoon over into the panels. And would mention to you that this is our 3rd year in a row to offer a technology track for those of you that like the technology pieces, as well as a regulatory and banking track. So as we did last year, all 4 of these will be recorded, and you'll be able to listen to the one that you didn't choose. But at 1 o'clock, we'll have a stablecoin panel, and this will be hosted by Wayne Miller from the ICBA. We look forward to Wayne and his panelists, which is an excellent group, by the way. And also at 1 o'clock, a regulatory landscape by Naomi Snyder will be the moderator of that from Bank Director. We appreciate their time. I don't know if you want to make any comments about those 2 panels and how those might fit into today's environment.
Yeah, well, certainly, as Josh and I were talking about on the podcast that is this unit here that we just did, stable coins, I think, are here to stay, and I think he agreed with me on that. And they certainly are something that bankers will need to think about for the future. So if you don't know what they are, or you're trying to explore them, or you hope they'll just go away, this would be a great session for you to attend. And then the regulatory sessions and things of that nature, too, where we're getting policy decisions, I think, are also of great importance. And also, Stan, at 12 o'clock, we'll be at lunch. We'll be passing out some of our normal awards that we do, the Distinguished Finance Executive. And I'm going to leave that as a teaser.
Yep, there you go.
And also, we have Banking Pioneers and also our Junior Award as well, which are we're going to leave all those as teasers. So you got to come to the symposium to see who wins these awards, and they're all very deserving and wonderful people and great industry leaders and impact there. So that'll be a great time too.
And thank you for that. And also as a reminder, this is the week of Veterans Day, so we will be acknowledging that group of people and also doing a color guard, and that'll be hosted by Jill Castilla. So we look forward to those pieces. The afternoon flips around at 1 o'clock with those 2 panels, again, stablecoin and regulatory landscape. 2 o'clock, there'll be 2 panels. We got to have artificial intelligence in here, right? In 2025, no banking event is complete without it. And that'll be hosted by Larry Pruss from Strategic Resource Management in Memphis. Larry will do an excellent job. And again, these panelists are just well placed. Please check the link to get all the names of the panelists. They're incredibly impressive. And then at 2 o'clock also, Paul Davis will be moderating a panel on smart growth. In the past, we've done an M&A panel, and this time we're going to do not only the M&A content, but also acquisition of other branches and other ways to smartly grow, whether you're buying a portfolio from another institution or working through a partnership with a fintech. How are we growing smart today? And it's not just through M&A. So I don't know if you have any comments about either one of those.
Yeah, the second topic, I'm pretty biased against because literally my dissertation was on growth strategies in banking in the 90s, but we didn't know what fintech was back then. So, but I do think that there are a lot of opportunities for bankers, and banks need to really leverage their expertise and partner with whatever fintech company makes sense for them. The bottom line is they need to deliver value for their customers. And one way you do that is by offering different products and services maybe that you didn't have, and to think about those issues. And to be blunt, sometimes you don't want to offer some products because maybe it's too costly or the investment is just not what you need to do, but given your strengths and your core values and your mission, given, or perhaps your geography where you are. So it's really a good strategy session, I think, to think about these issues. And I know those afternoon panels will allow people to learn a lot and to be able to think about their own situation and apply some of these topics to what they're going through right now.
And again, attendees can certainly move back and forth between the panels and choose what matches your interest. The AI panel will also not only focus on the technology aspect, but also the practicality of how a community bank and a regional bank might be deploying that today. Would also mention to you 2 specifics. We do offer educational credits. So if you're in a vocation that requires those, please let us know. We'll get those credits to you. And if you're under the age of 35, there is no charge to attend. The symposium, we have a sponsor that is picking that up. So do know that. Speaking of sponsors, we have hit an all-time high this year of 66 sponsors. Remember when it was a number below 10.
Or below 3.
Or below 3. And again, as we've mentioned, just some of the top-level sponsors. We mentioned Stiefel as the title. Community Bank of Mississippi, we appreciate them, as well as Jack Henry being a major title. Regions, who is also sponsoring the Women in Finance, Strategic Resource Management, as well as the Citizens Bank out of Philadelphia, Mississippi. And know that that's only a few of the 66. Those of you that have already got the link, there are other sponsors listed on that. We appreciate every sponsor.
Absolutely.
Regardless what level.
Oh, yeah. And the money is very much needed and used. We basically use the money to help run our program. So we send students to competitions. We buy things that help our students. For example, we're just opening this semester a trading lab in the basement here of the building. And it's really, really interesting. And we've got several students in there who are learning through the London Stock Exchange Group terminals how to value different types of assets that we've never had the ability to be able to do that. So that'll be very, very exciting. So we take the funds to try to help run programs like that. And we just do a lot of things. And so these funds really allow us to, as Robert Kayat, our former chancellor, would have said, to provide the margin of excellence. And because of that, it's just really heartfelt appreciation that I have that we're able to do these things. And it really means a lot to our program. And, as I rotate out of this chair, not quite literally, but I guess in this case, literally.
Keep your seatbelt.
Keep my seatbelt. But it'll allow somebody coming in to have kind of a great start to continue the momentum we've enjoyed here and hopefully expand the success that we've enjoyed as well. So that part's been great, and I think the Banking Symposium will be one that you will not want to miss. So make sure you get there.
We appreciate all the dedication and the work. The last 21 years in your chair as the chair of banking, and also the past years as dean of the School of Business. So thank you for your contributions. I would mention to you that we'd love to have you at the symposium. Just know that in the past we've had as many as 17 states represented at a symposium, up to 5 different countries. So this is a very wide audience of interest and people. And what you may learn on stage is very, very important, but what you may learn in conversations could be the thing that brings it home. So if you'd like to register, please go to the Ole Miss website. There's a registration tab. And again, many of you likely have one in your email. And thank you so much for listening today. And we look forward to seeing you on November 14th. And I guess till then, hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy and go Rebs.
Got it.